Hi and welcome to episode 4 of Thunder Greatest Games. This episode we've got a very special guest with us. We've got Kevin Lewis, who is the coach of the reserve grade squad, and we're going back to 2017 to look at the finals run of reserve grade into the grand final. Welcome to the show, Kevin.
Thanks, Pete. It's good to reminisce on some of these games in the past. At the moment we're going to get back on the field, aren't we, sort of thing. So it's good to reminisce, and we'll be interesting to see how we go. Hope we win.
Coming into the semi-finals, we played 3 of the 4 top teams and struggled throughout the season. We played Warilla in the first semi-final, but in round 3 we lost 4-3, and in round 14 we'd drawn. And when we got to the semi-final, we went to Warilla for the semi-final. They got themselves a home semi, and we've got a goal to Oscar Brooks early on, which gave us a bit of our heads were up a bit, but we went down 2-1. Do you remember that game, Kevin?
I do remember, Pete. Yes, it's all come back to me, mate. Oscar, nice far post header, scored lovely, nice little goal. Thanks very much. My memories, I think on this what happened late in the game. With 1-0 up, we should have just wound the game down. One of the boys took a quick free kick. He probably should have just wound the clock down. Bad free kick. They went up there and scored, and then 1-1, and they went bang again, 2-1 down. It was just like 2 late goals that sort of knocked the wind out of us. But luckily, coming second in the thing, we had if you do lose, you get a second chance, and that helped us. Yeah.
Let's have a look at the goal. The next week we played against Oak Flats, and Oak Flats we'd lost in round 8 2-0, but in round 19 we'd gone down to their home ground and won 7-1 in a pretty emphatic performance. The boys were absolutely on fire. So we came into that semi-final against Oak Flats, and it was a tough game. Second half, it took us till we finally scored. Do you remember that first half?
I just remember at Constance Ground, a very tight game. The probably worst thing we did, Peter, is to beat them 7-1 in that second round. So they were up for revenge, sort of thing. I remember just a nice, real tough game, and just had to somehow get over the line to meet Fernhill or to move ourselves on the grand final. I remember a nice tough game, and we just got home. Yeah.
Okay, I'll show you the first goal. So a pretty wicked deflection, but that's the way football goes. We were a bit lucky, do you think?
Well, we'll take the win, mate. I think Aaron was a play there. He made a bit of mistake in the week before, rushing a free kick he should never done to, and then cost us the game more or less. But a week later, everybody deserves a second chance. He got a second chance. He scored the goal. So happy days then, yeah.
Yeah, that was in the 53rd minute. And then shortly after, Oscar Brooks. Now, Oscar Brooks for the season had scored 25 goals. Pretty awesome performance. It's great having a player like that in your squad.
Yes, I mean, the big O, he's a bit like Jade, yeah, loves September. He comes good September time, so you can always count on him. So, wear the number 9 shirt. You've got to put the ball in the back of the net, and thank God he did that day, yeah, for us, yeah.
Let's have a look at his goal. So the thing about always strikes me about Oscar has the ability to create these beautiful situations for other players to score. But when he does it himself, it's just always just a joy to watch. His positional play, his touch, it's just so good.
Yeah, give a bit of credit to Robbie. I think Robbie G at the far post, nice ball down. Oscar, how I like him, inside the 6, man on the spot, bang, goal, thank you very much. So happy days, we move on from there, it's great.
And in the third goal, in the 75th minute, so it was a very short space of time. Let's have a look at Brad Strudwick's goal. So Brad had an absolute mile of space in that back post there, and but he does just have the ability to touch first time and score.
That's a bit of a shock to me, Pete. Strudwick never scores inside the 6-yard box, but he's normally 25, 30 yards out. But probably first in his career, he scored inside the 6. So thank you, Brad. Well done, mate.
He scored 16 goals for the season, and I went through and looked at all of his videos for the season, his goals for the season, and the vast majority were outside the 18-yard box. They were just these absolute bombs. And we've got one in the next game, which we'll look at. I'm going to show a picture, Kev, of your face as you came off after that game. Okay, so the look on your face, Kevin.
That happiness and relief, you know, and probably a bit of shock that Brad scored inside the 6, but 3-0 against a pretty tough Oak Flat side, and I mean, 12 months after this game, we meet them again in the big one, don't we? So it was a good win. Happy days. We weren't sure who we were going to meet then, but we were back after the week before. So disappointed losing late. That was a good one. We're back on track. Yeah.
Okay, there was another little incident in this particular game which I'll show you, which was a diving header by James Townsend. He looked absolutely desperate to score. I'll just give you a look at it. After our win, we move on to the grand final qualification game, which was against Warilla. And in the 14th minute, Bradley Strudwick unleashes this. So in front of goals, there was Berg doing some star jumps and an absolute howling southerly, which curled it in. It was probably one of the best 8-iron shots that Tiger Woods would have been proud of. Do you remember being in the box and seeing that goal?
Oh, that was typical Brad goal. More or less, never surprised there. Yeah, big full credit to Berg. Then he was quite smart. He's a big lad. He put the keeper off. The keeper couldn't see where the ball was. So I'll probably give that goal to Berg, I think. Brad just did the nice easy part. But no, Strud's can do them goals. I mean, thank God he was in the team, yeah.
And then shortly after, JDL did this. So 18 minutes gone, 2-0 up. JDL certainly knows where the back of the net is in September, doesn't he?
Yeah, Petty made a lovely little run there, just stayed on side. I can't quite remember who slipped that ball through, lovely little ball through. And JDL, what do we call him? Mr. September, he just grows another leg, doesn't he? And tucked it away well. Thank you very much, 2-0.
We move to the second half. We go to the 53rd minute and Aaron Bazinski scores a goal to take us to 3-0. Let's have a look. So like we said that Tiger Woods down the other end with his 8-iron shot, that one came clearly off the side of his foot and curled into the right corner. What did you think?
It's just amazing. I'm not sure if Aaron knew that was a bit of a miss kick or he meant it. I think we're not quite sure how it's going to come off his foot there. But
I think he would have claimed it.
I think he meant it. He said he meant it, so we'll go with that, yeah.
And then in the 60th minute, Oscar Brooks scores this. he just has the most sensational touch, doesn't he?
Yeah, again, 3-0, more or less game over. 4-0. That was a sealer. So again, took it well. And then we're thinking of obviously the week after that, but we still got time to score a couple more, I think, Peter.
Indeed. In fact, in the 70th minute, Scott Woods draws a penalty. It's a second yellow to the defender, and they go down a man, and Oscar steps up to take the pen. We'll just have a quick look. And then in the 80th minute, this for me is one of the greatest finals goals you would ever see from JDL. It's just the most sensational placement of a ball. He draws defenders. It's almost like he's got half the team in front of him. Do you remember this goal?
I remember it, Pete. Yeah, he was a golden moment. You know, you just got the ball. He had a bit of a look. I know he loves his darts. He just put it in the top corner. Like a double top to finish. Yeah, it was just perfect. Great goal.
Yeah, you can hear in some of the video that there's people around the ground. Like I was pretty, oh my God, but there was, oh my God, was the from a couple of people that you could hear.
I think you could hear Scotty screaming from the square ball. So I think Scotty screamed, but JD had other ideas anyway. So
yeah, and from the moment he received the ball, it was a goal. Let's have a look. And I'll just point out that was Oscar who delivered that perfect ball to him as well, which is Oscar is famous for. Okay, so I'm going to show you a picture of your face. You're a little bit happier?
I'm a little bit happy, I think, Peter. Yeah, so we're back to, we thought WIN Stadium, but it was Port Kembla's ground. I think Elton John turned up that weekend, so we had to move from our second home ground, WIN, to Port Kembla. But, well, we're on the bus, so we're happy with that, mate.
Okay, so we moved to the grand final. It was up against Fern Hill, who we'd lost to 3-5 in round 4, and then we'd gone to their ground and scored. Oscar scored 3 goals to win the game, almost single-handedly, 3-2. Do you remember that game at Fern Hills ground?
It's a long time ago, Peter. It's a long time ago, and Oscar scored some goals over the years. So, yeah, it's in the memory somewhere, mate. But yeah.
Yeah, just the last goal was a corner from Joshy Bond, and it was over the line, and there was sort of a bit of a dispute as to whether they'd actually it had crossed the line, and the goalkeeper, the linesman, signalled that it was, and we took the game. So we came into that grand final with a tiny little bit of wood on them. They absolutely peppered us in the first couple of minutes, and they had a couple of shots where they went off the post, and then we'll have a look at that. And then we also had a fair bit of work to do from our fullbacks. We had a pretty good back four. Do you remember?
Yeah, I think we had experience. James Rooney on the left-hand side, Bergen, Tommy central, and Jono right, and Wes the back four, and Wes in goals 5. So we knew we were not going to concede many goals. Good, all fit and solid. Berg, the big lad there, Tommy, the pace around him, sort of stuff. So,
and Tommy picked up the man of the match for this game for his defence.
I think Tommy picked up the man of the match the year before in the grand final for us too. So he's another one who comes good at the right time for us too. Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look at some of the action in the early stages. Okay, the 20th minute, Scott Woods scores one of the great grand final goals. You wouldn't believe a bloke could jump that high with this goal, could you?
That was a great goal. We needed the first goal was so important for either side, but a great corner. We had quite a few corners before that and didn't do too much with them, but I think Struds put it on up there. Scotty got massively high up in the air, got a great leap and got the ball in. So very important in that first goal.
Let's have a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first goal of the match is the Real Thunder, number 6, Scott Woods. Be strong. Looky, everything in that spot there. Just come to it so you can run to it.
Keep going, boys. One corner, right? Brad, down here.
Come on, help, yeah.
You want it, Brad? Come and get it.
Be strong. Get him out, boys!
Shortly after, 2 minutes later, JDL receives. Oscar holds the ball up first with a beautiful sort of positional play at the edge at the top of the 18. He feeds it off to Strudwick, who just has one touch and pushes it onto JDL, who puts it away. That was probably one of the sweetest little goals you would ever see in a grand final.
Yeah, that was very nice goal, the second one. Just a couple of minutes before that, we switched straight in from the right to the left. Brad come to the right and Robbie went number 10. So we just shifted things a little bit. I wasn't quite happy with the way things are going, even though we 1-0 up. And more or less minutes later, ball come there, Oscar come into Struds, and Struds, as he does, a bit of quality, a no-look pass, first time. Looks like a very scruffy goal from JD, but looking at it again, he passed in the back of the net. Might have rolled down the shin a little bit, but a pretty crucial goal, that second one.
It was. So we went into this. Let's have a look.
There's the second one to Cerule, number 7, Jonathan DeLisle.
We went into the second half. They came out all guns blazing and really hammered us, and it was pretty intense in terms of which you expect from a grand final. What were your thoughts as a coach on the sideline?
Well, obviously we 2-0 up, but it's sometimes that's a funny old lead, as Australia found out they're going to run there so many years ago. But look, we knew Fernando a quality side. They did come first. A lot of experienced players in there, ex-sort of guys, a lot of guys, ex-first-grade players. So tough game. We knew they'd come at us. Just made a change at half time. We've got Tyler on the midfield and give Aaron a spell at half time just to hold the fort. We couldn't get them guys coming through the centre. And we held on well. I mean, they had some chances. They missed some chances, but we held on. Couldn't quite grab that third goal. Would have been nice, just that little buffer. But thoughts were keep going, keep playing. It wasn't pretty football. We played a lot better, a lot prettier. But we played a typical semi-final football, grand final football, just no mistakes, solid, hard to beat.
And late in the second half, Fernhill scored. Let's have a look at their goal.
Replacement for Fernhill, ladies and gentlemen. Number 7, Dean Morvison, has been replaced by number 12, Kevin McDonald.
Do you remember how you felt when they got one back?
Yeah, I wasn't real happy, but because we defended well, they were missing some. I thought, well, they're not going to score today. And Wes was playing fantastic. Tommy and Berg centre, and Jono and Runes were finding it tough to get beat. One ball over the top. Tommy might have been a yard or two a bit high, and he played run through and scored, and it was game on from there. So not panic. We just thought, okay, here we go again. Typical thought. We never make things easy.
And then, to our credit, we went on the attack again and hammered against their defence. Their defence held, and finally we picked up the win, 2-1. Were you relieved?
Happy. The usual thing. That's the best part of the semi-finals. The main thing is the final whistle. Again, they weren't a mug side; they're a pretty good side. So we all fought, whole squad fought that day, and it wasn't a pretty game. But it was at the end of the day, grand finals, just get the job done, and we had a lot of heart on that side, and the job was done. So very happy.
Well, thanks, Kevin, for joining us with Thunder TV for our Greatest Games series. We look forward to seeing you back on the paddock with the boys as soon as we possibly can.
Thanks, Peter. I can't wait. Hopefully, a couple of weeks, we're all back into it again, and hopefully defend our trophy again, which would be great.